Hey friends, Billy from LM Cases here, and today we're going to take a look at a pair of 65-inch Sunbrite outdoor monitor lift cases that we just finished up. So if you've been following us on Instagram the past couple of days, we've been documenting the build process for these two cases. If you're not following us on Instagram, check us out. LM_cases is our handle. You can follow along with projects that we think are cool. We really specialize, or we try to highlight integrated systems and anything that we think is going through the shop that's noteworthy so you can see the progress. So that's super exclusive content. You don't even have to pay for that. It's free. Just check us out on Instagram. So anyway, here is a pair of 65-inch lift cases. So these two cases are going to an installed application. As far as the integration goes, LM is doing the basic infrastructure for wiring in the case, and our client is installing the monitor and doing a bit of programming to sell to their client. So I always say that LM is the integrator's integrator. If you're interested in us doing a project, we're happy to take it turnkey and give you something that's fully deliverable to your client, or we can get stuff started for you to finish up. So the way that this particular system works is there are two trays that come with this case. This is kind of the same formula that we use for most of our monitor lift cases. We did a video a couple weeks ago about a double capacity monitor case that had a lift with that had a monitor on both sides. So if you want to check that out, look at the link in the upper right hand corner of your screen to check out that video, and maybe you can see some of our common parts that we use. So anyway, this particular case has two removable trays that can clip on to anywhere around the case perimeter. So this one is on the side of the case, and this one is on the front of the case. You can go behind the monitor if you want, really anywhere around the case, depending on the application of which you are doing your presentation. So construction on these are 3/4 inch plywood that is finished with rubberized T-molding around the side and black Formica on top. Now we use Formica in this particular instance for any application where you need to write. So if you put a piece of paper down on here and you need to write, it's not going to be bumpy. It's a nice smooth writing surface, just like a desk. So on this particular removable panel, we have an I/O panel for you to access the monitor. So we've got a Neutrik HDMI input, and we also have a heavy-duty USB and AC power outlet. And the purpose of that is just if you've got a laptop or a tablet or anything like that that you're running your presentation from, you can plug it in right here without any wires going anywhere. It just keeps things a bit neater. And it also has two USB-As for device charging. Now, you can spec this however you'd like. This particular customer asked for USB-As. You can do two USB-Cs or a USB-A and C, or just a regular Edison if you like. Moving on from this I/O panel on our side table, let's take a look at where it plugs in, which is the main I/O panel at the front of the case. Now, this panel is designed to use in lift cases that either have one or two monitors. This particular system only has one monitor, so we have this blanked out. This is showing our HDMI connection right here, which is HDMI 2, which hits HDMI 2 on the monitor, as you may have cleverly guessed. It provides two snap-in Edison plugs on the front, which is designed to power, well, anything or the two side tables. So let's take a look at this HDMI connector. Now, this is a locking professional HDMI connector that lives in this adjustable barrel. We have found on earlier iterations of this case, when we use just a regular HDMI jack, people may lean up against this and break the HDMI jack. So we upgraded this to this locking version, which snaps in place and locks in, super secure. So if you do bump it, it's not going to go anywhere. So we use what's called a snap-in Edison outlet on this. And the reason why we do that is it gives you a nice bit of space. So we have this nice, very heavy-duty 16.3 SO cable that plugs the shelf in. This gives you enough space between the two outlets so that you can have space for those two things. So this is one method for providing signal to the monitor. If you remember, it says HDMI 2 on there. We're going to take a look at our main I/O section on this case. And what we have here is HDMI 1. So the case is giving you two inputs to the monitor. So if you want to have two different sources and toggle between it for the remote, you can. We've also got a heavy-duty Neutrik Cat 6 jack on this panel, so that if you want to bring network to the monitor, you can. And then the other thing that we're giving you is 2 blank D punches, so you can put whatever you want in here. So if this case eventually needs to have, say, video over Cat 5, you could do that. Or if you need to have an SDI input or output, you could do that as well. On the panel, you also have a courtesy power outlet. It's a 20 amp courtesy power outlet on the side there. So if you need to plug in a converter box or a media player or anything like that, you can. One of the cool things that I think is a super, super useful feature is this retractable cable reel. So this is the main power for the case. This is a 30-foot retractable cable reel, so you never have to bring an extension cord if you're deploying this case. If this is an audiovisual rental application or a school or anything like that, you can run this as a straight package without the need for extra cabling. So let's take a look at the lift and what we did as far as integration goes. So this lift right now is ready for the customer to install their 65-inch Sunbrite monitor. And what we did to just help them out is we built them a very custom loom that has a locking IEC power connector on it, an HDMI connector, and we also gave a Ethernet connection just in case they want to have network to the TV. They don't have to use that, but we figured it would be a nice infrastructure thing to provide. So this is the case opened up, and here is what the case looks like closed. So the shelves are designed to live in custom foam compartments on the side here. And you can get a nice idea about what our back box looks like. So this is all of the power connections. They're all enclosed in this back box. This is the HDMI cable on the back of the connector. So this is double heat shrinked. There's a heat shrink piece that goes, that's applied first, and then there's another piece that goes over it to make sure that the cable can't come out of the back, because as you know, an HDMI connection is not locking. So here is what the panel looks like. Without any connections in it. The HDMI 1 connection is blanked out here, so if you want to populate that with another cable, if the need arises, you certainly can. And here's just a look of the case of everything all put away. So one more thing that I want to point out before we end this video is this is the side bracket for the table. We're looking at this portion right here. This is actually CNC'd, so there'd be a bit of a bump stop there. So you need to slam these down. And the reason why we do that is it allows it to be extremely tight against the tongue portion. And if you look here, there is a little bump out for the tongue so that it sits perfectly flat on the side of the case, and it can support a bit of weight on there. So if you need to put a heavy laptop or a media player or anything like that, and if you happen to be leaning on the case during the presentation, it will support your weight. So here is another shot of our 2 cases. We'd like to thank you for stopping by. We appreciate everybody watching our YouTube videos. If you have any questions, you can email me direct, billy@lmcases.com. You can check us out online, lmcases.com, or you can follow us on Instagram, lm_cases. Thanks for stopping by. Hope everybody has a great day.